Before we get into this video, I'd like to say this is a free code provided by Microsoft. As a disclaimer, it no way biases my thoughts or opinions, and I remain unbiased as such. So that's just a disclaimer, and I'm just letting you know. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed the review. Hey, and welcome to this peaceful little hamlet. Well, it's not really peaceful anymore, is it? Because I've arrived. Hey, and welcome to the Forza Horizon 4 review. Now, in case you've been living under a rock and don't know what Forza Horizon is, well, it was a spin-off to Forza Motorsport, which is a simulation game. In Horizon, it's an open-world racing game with a little bit of an arcadey twang, but still pretty realistic in terms of the simulation options. And the previous Horizons took place in Colorado, Italy and France, then moved to Australia in number 3, and now in number 4, it's the home of the British. Well, yeah, where I'm from. So yeah, like the other Horizons, there's a multitude of activities you can attend to, and you're not just limited to racing. You have over 20 unique career progression paths, or I just like to call them categories, as you can see on the screen there. It ranges from, just obviously track racing, all the way to drifting. You can get speed traps, speed cameras, explorer career. Yeah, it's really, really cool. I really, really love the racing in this game. The handling doesn't feel too realistic yet, it also doesn't feel too arcadey. It's just the right kind of mixture, and that's always been one of the strong suits for Forza. I really, really do enjoy the racing in this game. And you're not only just limited to racing in the towns, on the road racing, but you actually have different types of racing. You've got dirt racing, which takes a more of a kind of rally spin, so obviously you'll be racing through the dirt, which actually affects the handling as well. So you obviously have to kind of tune up your car to be more adept to off-roading. Then you also have cross-country, which is actually racing far over the hills, and things can get really, really bumpy then. So you're probably better off having a 4x4. And then on top of that, to keep you entertained, you have small variety of challenge PR stunts to beat. These can range from drift zones, which you can drift through, to speed traps and speed cameras, as like on the other ones, we have to go through the camera zones, the speed zones, doing a certain time at a certain speed, which gives you 1 to 3 stars, obviously 3 stars being the highest. You also have danger jumps, they come back, and obviously the further you jump, the higher rated you get. And then there's also exploring, which you can drive down every single road. There's beauty spots, which is a new addition, which is pretty cool because it lets you unlock some of the highlights, some of the kind of unique areas in the game, such as the Harry Potter bridge. And you can also, like the other game, collect a multitude of bonus boards, which are all sporadically placed throughout the map. And obviously collecting these gives you a reward to your reputation, gives you money, and also a discount for fast travelling. So you can open up the map and travel to certain locations with a discount. And all that stuff is incredibly fun to do. And that's just only scratching the surface. On top of this, you can actually customise cars. Just like the other games, you can upgrade, tune, share them, and you can also even apply graphics from over 450 cars from more than 100 manufacturers. And even better, they are all realistic, they are all authentic, they are all modelled extremely accurately after the real models. And then, of course, once you're happy with upgrading and tuning your car, you can take it to the auction house and sell it online. So great, so awesome. And when you're racing and going through the world, exploring the world, you also have radio stations. And these can range from kind of classic hip-hop, drum and bass, which I absolutely love, and several others. And while you're going through the world, there's also a really, really nice day and nighttime cycle. So in the daytime, it's kind of like really, really unique. and in the nighttime things get extremely dark. It's probably one of the most realistic nighttime games out there. I mean, it's just really they've done a great job. So in this series, in number 4, there's only really been kind of a few small changes, but even though there's small changes, they change enough to make it feel like a real big changes. They've done a really good job on bringing in some new features which actually add a lot of depth and entertainment to the game. The first major highlight of this game is seasons. So you'll be racing in the winter, and when that happens, there's snows all over the place, the areas look different, the lakes freeze over, you can bring about much more exploration in that season. You also have spring, summer, and autumn, like in real life, and these cycle in real life. Every week on a Thursday, these will cycle. So right now it's summer, next week's going to be autumn, and the week after that will be winter, then back to spring, basically seasons. And they've done an outstanding job on these, especially snow. I love racing in the snow. It's so difficult, but so fun. And perks have had a slight tweak. Before you used to have like a global perk board, but now perks are kind of exclusive to each car. So each car gives you different kind of rewards. Some can give you kind of wheel spins, some give you a boost to drifting, and so forth. And that's also a really cool change, and I kind of like it. It means you don't have a lot of kind of points stacked up pointlessly, right? There's also character customization in this. You have a unique avatar, and you can go about dressing it up as you please, male, female. You can, it's just the customization on this game is a lot of fun. You can even change your horn, and going past somebody beeping "Ode to Joy" is just really rewarding. You can customize your license plates. That's probably one of the first things you do in this game. And of course, a lot are kind of locked behind wheel spins. Now, don't get up in arms. Wheel spins are completely free. There's no kind of cash. You don't have to buy wheel spins. There's none of that. You buy wheel spins, but with in-game currency. There's no, you can't actually buy them with real-life money, which is great. And it adds randomness to the game, which I kind of like. It's kind of fun when you get a real spin and you unlock something really rare. The game revolves around Horizon Life, which means that when you go into the game, you'll be playing online with up to 80 other players. I think it's 79 other players actually, because you count one. And at first this was a bit kind of horrifying to me, but the way it's done is really good. It feels like the other players aren't intruding on your experience. And they're ghosted so they can't crash into you, and it's quite nice to see them kind of cruise past you or something like that and beep their horn. You can hear them beep their horn, vice versa. It's a really fun experience to have online, which isn't online, or it is online, but they just can't disturb you. But they can be around you, feel their presence. That's pretty cool. And if you don't like online, you can of course play solo mode, but there's a big gripe to that. And yeah, I'll tell you a bit later on about my big gripe. There's also houses which you go around and purchase. This also helps with when you earn money. You can get to decide, do I buy new cars or do I buy houses? And each house will give you kind of a unique perk. So some will give you fast travel anywhere, drone mode, all of the stuff like this. It's really cool. The game introduced is kind of a unique story mode. Now the story mode is pretty short. And I mean, yeah, you get to be a stunt driver, you get to join the drift club, you help Larissa, a aspiring YouTuber, and the last one, you get to drive exotic cars as fast as you can to get destinations. This adds just a little bit of differentiation, if that's a word. I don't think it is, but we're just going to leave it in there and you're going to pretend to understand me anyway. And yeah, I mean, it's alright. It's probably could have added a lot more to story mode, but I mean, again, there's already a ton of content in the game, so this is just extra icing on the cake. And every hour, there's a Forza Farm live, which everybody in the server they go up and meet up to the points, which you're seeing on the screen now, and you get to contribute in challenges together. And then obviously, when you complete the challenges, you get rewarded with Forza points, which you can spend in the Forza shop, which can give you unique items such as wheel spins, cars, Forza Horizon cars, and it's really, 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 really fun. Now this game, the strongest point of this game is the absolute outstanding environment and graphics. You could be going through the beaches, the highlands, small towns, there's just city sounds. It's just such an amazing rendition of United Kingdom. It just really does feel like I'm outside at certain points in the game. And, I take my hat off. My hat, which I don't have because I never wear hats, but this time I do, I take my hat off. And I just say, wow, I'm blown away by just the environment. And it all feels alive as well because there's kind of the wildlife. You got rabbits running across. You got chickens getting in your way, trying to run away. You got sheep there. And I love sheep because reasons. You got a train going around. Just lots of moving parts. The whole world feels alive. You got NPCs. Just very, 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 very good. And just the attention to detail in this game is just out of this world. I went into drone mode, and in the options you can go in drone mode, and kind of explore a little around you. The problem with drone mode is that, again, like in the previous games, it's very limited with how high you can go. But I went into drone mode. I went straight up into the house's windows to look in, not expecting much. And no, like each room is kind of, you look inside the house in the window, and you really get to see inside each houses with like the kitchen, and even with the pubs and stuff, you get to see the bar inside. It's just insane. And when you're going off-road, you even get like dirt kicking up on the car. And for instance, I've always loved this feature in kind of off-road games where you go through the mud and the mud will actually stick to your car. It is absolutely insane. And there's also like the small things which kind of amuse me, with like NPC transit vans, for instance, and stupid stuff like bikes on the cars. On the car roofs, with the bike stands, the NPCs, and just roadworks and stupid stuff like that, like snow plows in the snow. Like that would ever happen. And it is just I love all the attention, and you can really see they've tried so hard on the map and the environment as a whole. So that is just it is one experience which you've basically got to have. I'm trying to hold back just how amazing this game is for my conclusion, but you can probably guess. Now, there are a few negatives, but again, they really... It's minor. Now, the character models, I think they just look absolutely weird. You kind of like... just the way they move, the way they act, the way they dress, everything. I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing, but they just kind of look a bit weird. And if you try and play on solo mode, my god, again, the AI driver tires will just crash into you, cut you up, get in your way. It's horrible. But again, I played online through most of my experience, so I didn't really kind of bump into any driver tires. And the biggest flaw to this game is just kind of how sluggish it is in the menus and the loading times. And when you buy a new car, you get Auto Vista upon getting in, and the time it takes to do things, the loading screens are just long. Even when you turn on the game, you're just pretty much... It's really sluggish to get through. And again, small stupid things like when you roll your car, it just pretty much resets your car really fast. So you could be rolling, you could be fine, you could be landing on your wheels, but before you land on your wheels, you'll get reset anyway. And that's normally a pet peeve of mine in racing games. And I mentioned about the cars having unique designs, which people can actually make themselves. You can kind of have up to like 400 layers or 500 layers. I think you have like 2,000 layers, in fact. And people online, they would go and get certain like circles, resize them down into pixels, and just create these insane designs, which you can actually share around when people download the designs and you use them, they get credits for them. It's insane, but I'm a huge fan of designs on this game. But my biggest gripe is that you're unable to view designs before applying them to the car. Like, okay, you get a little window where you can see them, but I would love it if you could just press X or something and just have a little, like, look around the design, see if you like it before you actually apply. But you first just kind of take a guess on if you like the design for the little kind of tiny window. And, you know, it's a gamble. I really wish you could view the designs before kind of applying them. But yeah, wow. My time with this game has been nothing but absolute fun. It's just an insanely good game. It's probably one of the best racing games of all time so far, and I know I'm a huge racing fan, I'm a huge Forza fan, but no, I really do mean it. It's definitely a game you should check out and play. Even people who don't like kind of racing games, they pick up this game and they're like, wow, this is quite fun, at least the other Forzas. But no, I cannot toot its horn so much. It's really, really good. You gotta play the game. This review doesn't even do the game justice. I just, yeah. But that's about it, I think I've covered everything about Forza Horizon, though. Any questions, just let it down in the comments, and I'll get back to you. Now again, I will say this was a free code provided by Microsoft Studios, but it doesn't influence anything, any opinion or anything in the game. I remain unbiased as such. This game just truly is outstanding.